presentation. Okay, so while I'm presenting, I just put this out there. I can't see you or see the chat. So if you have a question, please stop me, because I can't tell if you're asking questions. And this presentation will go pretty quickly. I'm hoping for lots of questions, so just get them ready. Write them down. I'll introduce myself. I'm Katie Newton, and I work at James T. Alton Middle School here in Hardin County, and this starts my 14th year here. I've been in the library all 14 years. I am only certified to be in the library, which is kind of a rare treat. But I'm also in charge of STLP for our building. So hopefully some of you might want to take on STLP for your buildings. And hopefully I can answer your questions on how to manage that, who your contact people are, how to get information, that kind of thing. So what is STLP? Everybody is always asking, what is STLP? STLP is a student technology leadership program. And that's it. Anything that kids are doing with tech is STLP. So think about your building and think about all the things that you see around you of kids touching technology. That's your yearbook committee, your news crew. I know lots of schools have enhancement classes. There might be an enhancement class on coding or photography or robotics, or even makerspace. It is all in the umbrella of STLP. Anything with kids touching technology is in the umbrella of STLP. I know, that's huge. But I'll show you their state competition website later, and you will see how huge it is. Hopefully I can show you ways to just ease into it. You don't have to do the whole thing. You don't have to do all the categories, but just kind of ease into the waters and see how magnificent it is and ways to show off what your kids are doing. So the number one rule for STLP is it's all about kids, and it's for every kid. One of the big rules for STLP is you cannot kick a kid out of STLP. If they sign up for STLP, then they get to be an STLP. It's all about us as the facilitators, as the leaders, to find them a niche for them to excel. So that's a huge role with STLP. You can't be kicking kids out or not letting kids join because they can't stay after school. And hopefully I can reassure you that they can do a lot of this in the classroom. You can have STLP projects going on everywhere. I could just say in my building at JTA, what we do, I have a teacher that loves photography. So she does photography. She handles it. She sends me the projects. I submit them, but I don't have anything to do with that photography class. That teacher teaches them how to use their cameras. They go take pictures. She gives them different scenarios and lets them practice editing and all the things that go with photography. It's a lot of work. I don't do it as the leader. She does it. And I facilitate her kids getting to participate, being the leader of STLP. What I do facilitate is a makerspace class, basically, where we get the robots out. And I get a lot of kids in there that get kind of thrown in there because they don't fit into another club. So I'm really just trying to get them to experience the basic levels of coding or robots in any way that I can get them interested. So it's kind of a starter there. And then I also work on showcases, and we'll get to what the showcases are, because there's lots of ways you can participate in a showcase. But even the showcases can come out of another teacher's classroom. If you see the kids working on a very community-based project and they're using tech to showcase it, take note of that and give them a rubric that I'm going to show you and let them sign up to compete and show off what they're doing. It's a really amazing organization. I'm going to click on this link. It's a one-stop shop, this link for STLP, on how to get started, all the different ways to get started, and hopefully I can explain to you what all these mean. So like when we think of going to regionals and state, we think of like basketball and baseball, and you have to do all these things before you get there, and then you have to earn your way to state. Well, part of that is true here, and part of that is not true here. Regionals, if you see that tab at the top of the screen, is just showcases. And we will get to showcases in a minute, because this is the biggest way lots of schools participate in STLP, is showcase. So that's 4 kids in front of a booth that they build to show off how their project made an impact in their school, community, state, the world, wherever, and they present. So it's a presenting competition, kind of. You get a rubric. The judges want to see certain things on the rubric. They score you, and then you either move on to state or you don't. Okay, it's a very easy maneuver. Regionals is. At regionals come pretty early. It's usually October, November, and so your project might just be started. You may have just by that point gotten everything together and gotten the kids together to say, this is our plan. And that's okay. They aren't judged on the completion of their project. They're judged on their know-how and their passion that's driving them to complete it. And the goals that they've set and how they meet that in the rubrics and all that good stuff. So that's wonderful. You get your idea together, you get your plans together, you get a little presentation together, and you go to regionals. Well, you say, Katie, it's COVID and we don't get to go anywhere. It is true. Last year, they did everything digitally. So just like we're on Google Meets today, they set up virtual rooms that judges were sitting in, and the kids popped in and out to showcase their stuff via online, just like I'm doing here to give you information. The kids got on and presented online. The judges scored them. They turned all the scores in. The schools got their feedback, and they went on. And they did that for state. They had to do that at state at the end of the year because all these kids had worked on all these projects. And I say all these projects, I'm talking thousands upon thousands of kids across the state of Kentucky coming together to show off what they know, which is amazing. It's just amazing. It's one of the best things you'll ever get to go to once we get to go there. But it really is. It's one of the best things I've ever been involved in with children. So regionals are showcase. This DPOJ are digital projects, basically. That is for winter judging. So there's usually has to be submitted like right before Christmas or right after we get back from Christmas. I think it's right after we get back from Christmas. So it kind of plays with the snow and stuff. But that is online photography. That's where my photography kids join. And this is how I started STLP at JTA, was with photography. Because I didn't have to get kids together and showcase. I just kind of watched that year and paid attention to what was going on in my building, what teachers are being innovative, what teachers are having their kids be innovative, and start going and picking their brains and saying, hey, would you want to make this a class assignment? And let's pick the best one and let's take them to Lexington. Let's get them through to the big show. But photography is pretty simple. There are 3 categories. You have original photography, so you just take a picture. Doesn't matter. Whatever you took the picture in, whether it's black and white or in color, you get to send 2 photos. They can be from the same person. They can be from different people. Doesn't matter, but you get 2. You get a manipulated photo. If you do anything to the photo, make it clearer, chop the edges, change the color, add a filter, anything like that. That's a manipulated photo. You get 2 of those. Again, they can be from different kids. It can be from the same kid. And then you get a, oh my gosh, I just lost my brain. You get one where you get to add words. And I cannot think of the word that I'm trying to think of. Anyway, so we'll just jump in here. Oh my goodness, I cannot think of the name of the... It's just killing me. Graphic design. Graphic design. So anything with words added on top of a photo, you get 2 of those. So like I said, that's the easiest way to get involved in STLP. Pick those kids that are taking pictures. They're taking them all the time on their phone. They can use their phone. There's amazing cameras in phones. If you have a photography class, an enrichment class, get that teacher these rubrics so they can work on those digital photography items. I also started with digital art. That's where the kids like draw in Google Draw or anything like that, where they actually color and make art in digital form, and you can submit those as well. So there are also other categories. You can see those in this giant sheet. Book trailer, digital music, digital storytelling, making a documentary, girls who code, graphic design, infographics. Holy cow, it goes on and on and on. Minecraft, a PSA video. If you're high schoolers, I know we've had some of them get published around here. Technical writing. You have all the resources are inside this sheet. It's amazing. There is one man at the state level that runs STLP for the entire state. So the fact they are this organized is amazing. So we're going to go back. So that's where I always tell people to start is digital projects or online judging. You'll notice when you click on these, you get the products. What do they look like? So let's look at what these kids are taking pictures of. Usually they're right here on the front. Oh, they've updated a bit. So digital art. Let's just look what an elementary student did for digital art. I'm really hoping you guys can see this. Look at that. That's super cool. Super cool for an elementary student to bring in, fill the whole page, add all that color, all that diversity. That's an amazing digital art project. So with their digital art, so with this, the child would have also submitted how they did it. You give them the why. Why was this an important piece of artwork for the child to do? And what they used to do it. So there is some writing involved in it. That's why I say it should be a classroom assignment because you're doing something innovative and the kids are going to write about it. They have to explain what they did. Let's see what a digital art did. First place from high school. This should be amazing. I haven't looked at it yet. See, amazing artwork. These kids fascinate me every time I look at their work. Super cool. So you can see the digital music champions. So you have lots of examples. You can go down through for every single category that's the digital product for online judging and go through and see, start looking at things and think, what kid does this? I'm in a unique spot in being in the library where I get to see all the students in the building. So I feel like I can pluck them out of the building pretty easy. But if you send an easy email out to your teachers and say, hey, do you see any of this happen in your classroom? Let me know. An original photo for middle school. We have won these categories like 3 times. Our photography guru is amazing. So see, middle school photography, original picture. Nothing's happened to this photo. It's kind of a cool photo. So anyway, these are your champions. That's what that looks like. Any frequently asked questions, those are easy to do. You'll see the register is coming soon. He doesn't usually put that up until it gets closer to time you need to register. Like I said, he's one man, so he gets to take his time. He gets to do all the things. So, and then state is everything that happens at the state championship. So everything that comes out of regionals and everything that comes out of the digital products get to go to state, plus about 75 more things. They don't know when they're going to get to have STLP this year, so you'll see those little construction signs saying, wait, hold your horses. I feel like that's going to be our whole year. Oh, just wait. Let's go back to projects here for regionals. So this project-based learning, it talks about on here is the core of STLP. This is where the kids showcase what they know and showcase how they are impacting others around them, whether it's impacting another class, if they're teaching. Like you'll have a lot of projects that go to state where the 5th graders are teaching 2nd graders a new concept or a new thing to do that will make their life easier. Or you have kids teaching their central office staff how to, use Google Slides so that the district can be streamlined in using Google Slides or whatever the thing may be. You have a lot of teaching showcases that go up there. If anybody's familiar with Rachel's Playground here in Vine Grove, we actually turned her project into an STLP project because she's always looking for ways to get information out to the public about her project and raising money for this amazing playground we have in Vine Grove. And she went to the final round at state. And then there was some amazing high school thing that finally kicked us out. But she got in front of a lot of people that day, and some of them made donations to her project. So pretty cool. Where is that sheet? So yeah, so they give you easy, everything that you ever need to start is on here. Start level 1, level 2, level 3. key elements to focus on STLP projects. I watched one do one of these sustainable projects where middle schoolers they were trying to grow potatoes in lava rock to try to mimic growing food on Mars. And they did it. It was crazy. They used little bits, and they used something else to keep track of the temperature, and it notified them when they needed whatever they needed. It was really cool. So here is the super sheet. Like I said, that has everything in it. So all this regional top part, a level 1 project rubric is right at the top. So all the rubrics are linked. Super amazing. I just want to show you what one of their rubrics look like. These same rubrics are used for elementary, middle, and high. So elementary kids are being judged the same way the high school kids are being judged. And any grade level can win at state. Everyone's being judged the same way. We've had, I feel like last year an elementary team won state out of these showcases. And if you win, they will normally send your showcase to ISTE, which is usually someplace amazing. I feel like this year it was supposed to be in like San Antonio, or maybe last year it was in San Antonio. I'm not for sure. I didn't win anything, so I didn't have to remember where it's at. But the kids and usually the leader get to go, and they present their showcase there and how fabulous they are. So here's one of the rubrics. You can see it's pretty in depth. There's lots of things to focus on. What they learned, how they designed it, how their presentation went. They have to pay attention to copyright, so they can't be posting things in their booth that is just copy and pasted off the internet. Judges pay attention to that, and they mark off points. And usually if you break copyright, your score is like cut in half. We're really adamant on giving people credit where credit is due. So all the rubrics are this in depth. So there's nothing that can lead you awry. Follow the rubric, just like we tell the kids, right? Here, let's see. Yeah, winter judging. I told you all about that. I think that's just the link to the winter judging page. Showcases, it's their page. Robots and photography, that's the digital learning portion. So how do you get help with this in Hardin County Schools? If you're not already the library media specialist and you want to take this on, I would suggest you go to your library media specialist and start a relationship, if you don't already have one with them, and ask them questions and make sure they know you need the information that we get from our STC meetings. Because at the district level, Leif Tab takes care of us. He is the director of technology. If you don't know Leif, you should know Leif. He's amazing. But he takes care of kind of like the logistics. So when it's time to schedule a bus, or I don't know that we get to schedule buses this year, but any kind of logistics like that to get us to region or to get us to state, he makes that happen for you. He makes sure your kids are picked up and that you're there and that you're brought home. But your library media specialist is getting other information about STLP all along the way. He kind of puts that reminder in our heads and keeps us going throughout the year. So find a partner in that LMS in your building. If not, call me or email me or message me in your email. Use Messenger and start a chat with me about STLP. I do not care at all to be your go-to person for STLP questions. You can even just say, hey, Katie, is this a good idea? What do you think? I don't care. Anything. I don't want you to be afraid of STLP.
Probably need to start a little STLP group if we got more non-STCs doing this.
Right?
Yeah, start a little Google group with that and start sending out information in that way.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any questions? My presentation's kind of short because everything is in that website and you can do just one thing and you're a part of the STLP umbrella. And you get to celebrate those kids, even if it just starts with 4 kids that are going to showcase. And you don't even have to have 4 kids. You can have 1 kid who's amazing at what they do and they get to go showcase. You just can't have more than 4. So it can be 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, or 4 kids that make a showcase and take off with it. Or you can have 1 kid who does 1 photo for you and you submit that and get that out of your system and join, and hopefully one day we'll get to go back to Lexington at Rupp Arena and you can see the massive impact that STLP is having across the state when you see thousands upon thousands of kids running around showcasing what they know. It's just amazing.
I think that super sheet they just created last year is really helpful in getting started and seeing the whole picture of what all offered. Yeah, that's really that Lexington, that Rupp Arena, when there's 14,000 kids there participating, it is pretty neat.
Yeah. If anybody's done KYA and you go to a KYA conference, it reminds me a lot of that because the kids just go and do it. You don't have to, I don't know. I didn't feel like I had to prompt them to go do something. They take such ownership and they just go and take off and you're like, yeah, rock it out. Yes, Jacqueline, you can have lots of kids work on a project, but find 4 presenters or 2 presenters or whatever. Yes, Kelly, talk to your sponsor. If there is a sponsor and say, hey, I want to be a part of STLP. We're doing something cool over here. Those rubrics should be wonderful for classroom assignments. And even if you don't take them to regionals or state yet, you just want to try to use those rubrics in your classroom. They're amazing rubrics for different projects. Let the kids pick one off the super sheet and say, try and get it done. And just pay attention to how long it takes them to do it and maybe what resources they need and try to, be ready for next year and be like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. So that was like 30 minutes. Does anybody have any questions?
I do book trailers.
Yes.
And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, that can be part of STLP. I had no idea. So
definitely.
I'll look at that rubric to see if I can kind of align it with that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a winter judging. So that's just the registration. You register your kids with a link. It's just almost as simple as an email. You just got to meet the deadline. But that's not a big deal. Ryan, I have not posted it yet, but I'll go grab it off of that since whoa.
Oh my goodness, you put people on this room when you haven't listened to talk the entire time. Alright, if anybody's still here, I put in something in the
I think I put the sign-in thing in the chat. But it's out on that big grid too that Brandy has. If your school has a news crew, they can compete. You just need to find who is in charge of that with the kids and maybe hand them the rubric and say, hey, your kids are good this year. Let them take off. You have a yearbook staff. They get to submit a layout. So if they're really good at layouts, they can submit a layout. You just need to give it to that teacher and say, hey, here's your rubric. If y'all want to do this, let's do it. Your robotics team, your VEX teams can go. Your Legos teams can go. They usually have a Spheros competition. Of course, all that's hands-on, and I know we might not get to do that this year, but just keep that in mind. All those things that those kids are competing in elsewhere, they can also come to STLP and do it as well.
Added a feedback form to the chat there. If you guys get a chance, it's a feedback for the whole day. Just tell us.
Okay.
It's honest. Tell us what was good, what was bad, what we can do better. And when you all get no more questions, we'll wrap it up and call it a day.
Sweet. I just have one more comment.
Yeah.
For the kiddos that are still in here, for the teachers still in here. When I said it's for any student, it really is. My husband teaches low incidence at Rineyville, and he's taken his low incidence class to STLP, and they presented with modifications, of course, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience for his kids as well. So any student can participate in STLP. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll stay around and watch the chat if you want to ask anything about STLP. If you're looking at the website and have a question, just pop in.